Okay, this is the speaking part. So the question is, in what ways do you think globalization has positively and negatively impact local cultures and economy?
Okay. Um, I think that globalization has affected cultures and economy. First, I'll go with the positive aspects. So I think it's easy to see the positive impact that it has on the economy, especially in third world countries or countries that don't have as many natural resources and doesn't have as much innovation. So bringing in money from outside will help impact and influence and increase a country's financial situation, because it's an influx of money that doesn't require any investment or any previous resources. And so I think having the impact that it has on economy is very easy to see. I think it's really an exciting aspect of it is the culture sharing, because there's a lot of cultures. Culture is such a beautiful concept and can be so different throughout the world. And so having that opportunity to share culture and invite people into your culture, I think is really special, because there's a lot of cultures that are very much focused on hosting people, welcoming people in, like the concept of sharing, of becoming family. And so I think that can be something really special if it's done well. Unfortunately, I think a lot of times it's not done well, and a lot of the modern day tourism is more about more of a taking advantage of instead of sharing of cultures. And so I think negative impacts that we see on the economy is prices skyrocket, and a lot of the nationals in a country, a lot of the people who have lived in a city their entire lives are now finding out that they can no longer afford to live in their own city, because even, for example, here in Medellin, it's easy for someone to buy an apartment, rent it out on Airbnb, and you can make $500, $600 a month. You can make, I don't know how many of millions of pesos a month by renting it out Airbnb, or renting it out for a foreigner to come in to spend 6 months here, and then they're willing to pay 3 to 4 million pesos for an apartment that should cost 1,600,000 pesos, 1,600,000 pesos. And so you can see that really, really well here in Medellin, that there's now a lot of people who have lived here their entire lives who are now struggling to make rent, because people are buying apartments thinking that they can sell them to tourists, and not thinking in their own culture. Another place I was just recently in, Venice in Italy, and on the island itself, there are so many people that can't afford to live there either. And a lot of the older buildings have been turned into Airbnbs, have been turned into hotels, and there's an extreme decrease in the amount, like the population who actually live on the islands and who are actually from the islands. And I think I just recently read somewhere that in Portugal, they're also trying to figure out how to balance that, because the economical boost that comes in from tourism is amazing, but the impact that it can have on the people who have lived there their entire lives, who are from there, is intense. And so I think there needs to be some kind of governmental control system, anything to help balance this out, because it's not fair to the people who have lived there their entire lives to be kicked out of their apartment or out of their house because they're getting paid in Colombian pesos instead of dollars or in euros. And so I think that's kind of heartbreaking. And then the cultural aspect of it, I think a lot of times tourists don't appreciate the culture that they're seeing. And there's a lot of like nitpicking or complaining or just not appreciating like what they see. And so it's very much a consumerism mindset as they're doing it and it's all about them and not like that intercultural sharing or give and take at all. And so I find that very, very frustrating. Even as a foreigner living in Colombia, I try to, are we good on time? Okay.
Okay.
That's a great
Let me
question because I have a lot of opinions on this.